We begin this morning with Erin Moriarty, who takes a closer look at one of the newest and most essential tools in the never-ending effort to solve crimes.
Barbara Rae-Venter, a 76-year-old patent attorney living in Marina, California, thought she'd spend her retirement leisurely playing tennis, traveling, and indulging in her favorite pastime, researching her ancestry and building a family tree. It didn't quite work out that way. Did you ever imagine that something that started as a hobby would end up tracking down and capturing one of the most notorious criminals in California?
Absolutely not. No idea.
7 years ago, Rae-Venter, using her genetic research skills, tracked down a fugitive in California who had eluded capture for more than 3 decades. And remarkably, she did it without ever leaving her home.
We're going to begin tonight in California, where police believe they have solved one of the nation's enduring mysteries.
The fugitive was the Golden State Killer. In April 2018, the FBI and California law enforcement made headlines with a stunning announcement.
We found the needle in the haystack, and it was right here in Sacramento.
The rapist moved into Contra Costa County in October, striking 3 times in just over 3 weeks.
Since 1974, investigators had sought the man responsible for at least 13 murders and more than 50 rapes in the state of California. But it wasn't until Rae-Venter joined the investigation that they learned his name, Joseph James DeAngelo.
It's not that I'm so very special, it's just I happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Using DNA left by DeAngelo at a crime scene, Rae-Venter identified him by using a technique now known as investigative genetic genealogy.
It's just basically doing the same as you would do if you were doing family history research and augmenting that with DNA to make sure that the relatives that you find are really related to you.
Her crime-solving career began quite by accident. Rae-Venter, who also has a PhD in biology, was volunteering as a search angel, a person who helps adoptees find their biological parents.
It's such a fundamental desire. They are just so focused. They just so want to know where they came from.
I don't know that there's any cases.
In 2015, Rae-Venter responded to an email sent by this man and fell into her first mystery. Peter Headley, then a veteran investigator with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, was trying to uncover the true identity of a woman in her 30s who had been kidnapped.
She really wanted to know who she was. She was a living doe.
What is a living doe?
She's alive, but we have no idea who she is.
That living Jane Doe went by the name of Lisa Jensen. At 5 years old, she had been abandoned at an RV park by a man called Gordon Jensen.
It turned out she had been kidnapped by the suspect, and he just told everyone that he was the father.
Later, detectives learned that Gordon Jensen was just one of many aliases used by Terry Rasmussen, a notorious serial killer who died in prison in 2010 without ever revealing who Lisa really was. She doesn't know who her mother is. She doesn't know whether she has sisters or brothers.
Nope, nothing.
Headley said that Lisa had heard about genetic genealogy and wondered if that could lead her to her real family.
I said, okay, let's try it. So opened an account for her, got her in Ancestry, and we had some distant matches. And I'm like, this might just work.
But this was new territory for Headley, so he emailed DNA Adoption for help and found Barbara Rae-Venter. And why did you say yes?
It was a puzzle.
Rae-Venter began the laborious process of building family trees to find Lisa's real family. Is it more than just looking at the DNA?
Oh, absolutely. The DNA is just the jump-off point. You're doing census records, you're doing birth, death, and marriage records. My favorite is probably Facebook. I've actually built trees from the amount of stuff that people put in their Facebook pages.
Headley helped by coaxing distant relatives to take DNA tests.
People were skeptical, thought it was a scam. One lady thought I was going to clone her.
Floater?
Yeah.
That's how little people really knew, right?
Yeah.
And DNA tests are expensive. Peter and Barbara reached into their own pockets to help subsidize the cost. So you're not only not getting paid to do this work, you're actually paying for
Right.
these tests.
We probably each spent a couple of $1,000s on kits.
It took nearly a year, but in 2016, the DNA trail led to New Hampshire and the case of this missing young mother, Denise Bowden. She and her infant daughter had vanished from this home along with a man named Bob Evans, which turned out to be yet another alias of that serial killer, Terry Rasmussen.
The home has never been searched by law enforcement, so this is our first time in there.
Investigators believe Rasmussen killed Denise and kidnapped her little girl. For the first time, Lisa Jensen was about to learn her real name, Dawn Bowden.
I called Lisa up and I asked her if she wanted to know her real name. We had figured it out. And she just got real quiet and then very quietly said yes.
Lisa has asked for privacy, but in a phone call with Rae-Venter, told her that she could finally move on with her life, including getting married.
She just said it didn't feel right when she didn't really know who she was or where she'd come from. And now that she knew that, she felt comfortable now going forward and getting married. I just thought that was so special.
It was one of the first times that genetic genealogy was used to solve a criminal case. The word spread fast. In 2017, Rae-Venter got a call. Could she use the same technique to find the Golden State Killer? There were, I think, 6 full-time investigators, 3 FBI agents searching for this guy, and they couldn't find him. And you thought you could?
Yeah, the DNA should tell me who he is. I was absolutely certain of that.
Investigators provided a DNA profile left at a California crime scene, and Rae-Venter uploaded it to GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA. This time, she was building the family tree of a killer. 63 days later,
I'm sitting there at 3 in the morning, all by my little lonesome, staring at my computer. I know who you are. You're Joseph D'Angelo.
and at that moment, were you the only person in the world who knew who the Golden State Killer was?
Besides him, probably.
It was an astonishing breakthrough, but Rae-Venter's word was not enough to make an arrest.
I'm providing an investigative lead. You still need some old-fashioned detective work.
So investigators got to work getting a DNA sample from D'Angelo himself to confirm he was the right guy. Within days, the brutal killer who had evaded law enforcement for decades was finally behind bars.
Mr. D'Angelo will spend the rest of his natural life and ultimately meet his death behind the walls of a state penitentiary.
5 years after D'Angelo was locked away, Rae-Venter decided that it was time to share her incredible story in a book, I Know Who You Are.
I was asked to talk about the Golden State Killer and how he was identified, and it's a little bit of a story.
Rae-Venter has been profiled in the New York Times and appeared on Time magazine's list of the most influential people. And she's come out of retirement.
I have a group called Firebird Forensics, and we've probably now solved about 60 cases.
Rae-Venter works with law enforcement agencies nationwide to solve cases using genetic genealogy. She even travels around the country, teaching others her technique.
It's a bit of a slog, isn't it? Figuring this out?
You know, it isn't really. It's very addictive because, you know you're hot on the trail. And you just know if you keep going a little bit longer, you're going to find the connections you're looking for.
You're the right person for the job.
But her line of work has also raised concerns about privacy. More than 53 million people have already uploaded their DNA profiles to public databases. Should police be able to use that information to track down the user's criminal relatives?
Well, unfortunately, I think that horse left the barn a long time ago.
And the trade-off may be worth it, says Rae-Venter and others, if it means getting killers and rapists off the streets.
There was a lot of light bulbs going off across the country saying, what great technology, how do we bring it to our community to solve violent crimes?
How Barbara Rae-Venter helped this Ohio prosecutor bring to justice a serial rapist known only as John Doe number 147. That's ahead on Sunday morning.